Hey everyone, it's Brian. Today on Hot Topics, we're talking about noise contamination. Now, let's say you go into a haunted private residence and it's just you. There's no noise contamination. If you hear something, you know something's going on. And of course, you could debunk it if it's a mouse or, if it actually really is paranormal. Now, of course, there's like animals there that would cause noise contamination. The mice, for example, would be noise contamination. You had to debunk that. But so then, let's say you go into like a big prison, but it's just two people. Well, as long as you're together, that's fine. And if not, make sure that you know where everyone or the other person is and spread them out so you reduce that noise contamination. Here's the big thing. If you've got 10 people going to a giant haunted prison and you want to break up into 2 teams of 5, right? This is why we need to be spreading it out to reduce noise contamination. Let me give you an example. This is the basic example that I give. We've got a basement and 3 floors, maybe even 2 floors and an attic. So basically there's 4 floors, including the basement, right? What you can do is, if there's 10 people, 2 teams of 5, you can put one in the basement and put one on the 2nd floor and just move them up throughout the investigation. That way everyone gets to experience everything and you have a floor in between both teams to reduce that noise contamination. That's the goal here. Or if it's not as easy, maybe you got a giant prison, or let's just say Madison Seminary, because Madison Seminary is an easy one. When you come out of home base, you can go to the left, and there's a basement area, and there's an upstairs area. Or you can go out of the home base, and there's a basement first floor area, and a whole giant upstairs area, okay? So if you just label them A, B, C, D, just make sure that the teams are on opposite ends at all times. Very, very simple stuff. And you'll find that when you pay attention to reducing noise contamination and making sure that your teams are where they need to be, they're actually going to experience more than they normally would. Now, because noise contamination is our topic, maybe you're looking for noise contamination within the team during the rotation, during the EVP session. If someone coughs, if someone's shuffling around, that totally contaminates the evidence. You need to be making sure that, and here's the fine line, you need to be making sure that your team members are tagging themselves. If they cough, if they whisper, if they whistle, if they move and make a noise, because that's what we're looking for, right? When I'm leading an EVP session, I want to hear a whisper. I want to hear a noise response to what I'm trying to say. I want to hear a whistle out of nowhere, right? And so that is kind of like the micro level of noise contamination. And like I said, where the gray line is, like, you don't want to just keep pestering them. Hey, look, you gotta tag yourself, because then the investigation is not going to be fun. But your members should know what we're trying to do. I mean, we're trying to get some kind of response. You can't be making a whole bunch of noise. Like, if anyone's wearing like swooshy pants and every time they walk or move it swooshes around, that's so much noise contamination, it's unbearable. So today's hot topic is noise contamination. How do you limit it in your group, or if you haven't started yet, how can you be a little more mindful of it? And it's a pretty good conversation, making sure that you know where everyone is. So when you hear a giant noise, you know that it's not the other team, and you can play off of that during the EVP session. It's going to save you a bunch of time trying to figure out if that was the other team or not. It's going to add a ton of validity to all your evidence, and it keeps you on the right track. When you hear something, you don't want to be worried if it's the other team or one of your members. If you educate your members and you spread out your teams, you can really reduce that noise contamination, and you can get to the bottom line of what's really going on at this location. Is there something paranormal? Are there ghosts there? Is it just something that we can debunk? And noise contamination will really get in your way of actually doing that. So I want to make a quick video today. It is Monday, which is Hot Topics, where we talk about hot topics in the paranormal community, and just have a safe and blessed Monday. Remember, we are getting the jump scare compilation and the full breakdown of Investigation 1 coming this week. Everyone have a fantastic week from all of us at YourParanormal.